Are you thinking of moving to Canada and can't quite decide about Toronto or potentially moving to Ottawa? Well, I've lived in both cities and I'm here to tell you why Ottawa should be your top choice. Whether it's the lower cost of living, lower crime rates, better quality of life, amazing green spaces, and just a vibrant community, Ottawa has so much to offer. Now, keep in mind, I've spent 10 years living in downtown Toronto and now 15 years plus in Ottawa. And given age differences, so depending on what age group you're in, it might have an impact. But by the end of this video, I want to show you why Ottawa should be your top choice. Let's go. All right, welcome back everybody. My name is Mark Belanger and I am a realtor here in Ottawa. And obviously I help families relocate to Ottawa from whatever market you are coming from. So if that is of interest to you, please reach out to me. Go to markbelangerrealty.com. You'll scroll down just a little bit, schedule a very quick 20 or 30-minute call with me, and let's discuss obviously the neighborhoods that you're looking for. What are your ultimate goals and objectives? Give me just a bit of perspective, and then let's go tour some of these neighborhoods. And if you're from Toronto, well, even better, because we'll have neighborhoods that resemble some of the other neighborhoods in Toronto, some that have unique, distinct characteristics, which obviously I'll showcase that for you. So let's dive in. Toronto versus Ottawa from a real estate perspective, and why I believe Ottawa should be your top choice. All right, so before we overload on some statistics, let's give a bit of context here before we dive in. European settlement began in the 18th century, and the city was officially founded as the town of York in 1793 by Lieutenant Governor John Graves Simcoe. It was renamed Toronto in 1834 and became the provincial capital of Ontario. The city's growth was spurred by its strategic location on the Great Lakes, serving as a major transportation and trade hub. Modern Toronto, however, is perceived as Canada's largest and most cosmopolitan city, often compared to New York City due to its bustling urban environment and cultural diversity. It's known as the economic powerhouse of Canada, housing the country's financial district, major corporations, and of course, the Toronto Stock Exchange. The city is also celebrated for its vibrant art scene, multicultural festivals, and diverse culinary offerings. While it offers a high quality of life, it's also known for its high cost of living and, of course, the traffic congestion. Ottawa's origins are more recent compared to Toronto, with its establishment rooted in the construction of the Rideau Canal in the early 19th century. Originally named Bytown in honor of Colonel John By, the city was renamed Ottawa in 1855. And Ottawa was selected as the capital of Canada in 1857 by Queen Victoria, which was a decision aimed at balancing both the French and the English influences here in Canada, and placing the capital in a more defensible location away from the American border. Today, Ottawa is perceived as Canada's political heart, home of the federal government, including Parliament Hill, the official residences of the Prime Minister and the Governor General, and numerous national museums. The city is known for its high quality of life, safety, and extensive green spaces. It's often described as a quieter, more family-friendly city compared to Toronto, with a strong sense of community. Ottawa's tech sector is also growing, earning its nickname as Silicon Valley North. While it may lack the bustling nightlife of larger cities, Ottawa offers a balanced lifestyle with plenty of cultural and outdoor activities. Viewers of my channel know I like to do pros and cons, so let's take a quick list. Pros and cons, both Toronto and Ottawa, starting with Toronto on the pro side. Pro number one, the economic opportunities, obviously. Toronto is Canada's financial capital, contributing nearly 20% to the country's GDP. It's home to the Toronto Stock Exchange, which we've talked about, which is the 9th largest in the world by market cap. Over 40% of Canada's businesses are headquartered in Toronto, including major companies like RBC, TD, Rogers, etc. Pro number two, multiculturalism. Toronto is one of the most multicultural cities in the world, with over 50% of its residents are born outside of Canada. Now think about that. Over 200 ethnic groups and more than 140 languages are spoken there. From a cuisine perspective, 8,000 restaurants, over 8,000 restaurants in Toronto, and that includes everything from street food to fine dining. Entertainment, there's no doubt about it. Pro number three, everything from a nightlife and entertainment perspective. Toronto boasts the 80 music venues, numerous bars, clubs. It hosts the International Film Festival. There's major events, major sports. It has all the Blue Jays, Raptors, Maple Leafs, everything from a sporting perspective to keep you entertained on a year-long basis. Pro number 4, public transportation. I have to say it. Toronto has the Toronto Transit Commission, which is the TTC, which operates the 3rd largest public transit system in North America with over 1.7 million rides per weekday. So when you're fluttering through the city, just know Toronto has you covered. Ottawa, on the other hand, has its struggles. We'll save that for another day. From an educational standpoint, Toronto hosts the University of Toronto, which ranks within the top 20 universities globally, and of course, Ryerson University, which is known for its innovative programs. All right, so let's flip over to the con side of this argument. And of course, the number one con for living in Toronto, we got to state the obvious here, it's the high cost of living. The average home price in Toronto today is over $1 million. And the average rent for a 1-bedroom apartment in Toronto is just over $2,300 per month. A family of 4 in Toronto can expect to pay monthly costs of around $6,500. And then on top of that, you got to find money for your rent and or your mortgage. So very, very expensive. Con number 2 is the heavy traffic and congestion. Toronto drivers spend on average of 142 hours per year in traffic, making it the 6th most congested city in North America. Now just think about what you could do with an extra 142 hours per year. Con number 3 is pollution. Toronto's air quality index can reach unhealthy levels during peak traffic hours, although generally speaking, it is pretty moderate. Noise pollution should be considered as well, as the bustling city life and the traffic contribute significantly to noise pollution affecting residents' quality of life. And on top of all of that, population density, con number 4, over 2.9 million residents in the downtown Toronto area, has a population density of approximately 4,300 people per square kilometer. So when you're going out and about, you're gonna have waiting lines for restaurants, for dining, for healthcare, for entertainment, all of that, you've got to factor it in. Con number 5 is the weather extremes. Being that you are on Lake Ontario, right off of Lake Erie, you'll have a wide range of temperature ranging from -10 in the winter to +30 in the summer, and on top of that, the humidity. All right, so let's move away from the hustle and bustle of Toronto and move into the pros for Ottawa. And the first pro on my list is the quality of life. Ottawa frequently ranks as one of the best places to live in Canada due to its clean environment, safety, and well-maintained public services. Ottawa's crime rate is significantly lower than the national average, with a crime rate severity index of 54 compared to the national average of 73. Pro number 2 is our green spaces and outdoor activities. Ottawa has over 430 kilometers of multi-use trails and numerous parks, including the stunning Gatineau Park. Outdoor recreation, the Rideau Canal, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, transforms into the world's largest skating rink in the winter, which of course attracts thousands of visitors. And you just can't do that in Toronto, given its landscape and geography. Pro number 3 on my list is the stable job market. Being that it's the nation's capital, you have both the government town as well as a really high tech hub here in Ottawa. So from an Ottawa perspective, there's 130,000 public servants, which provides a stable job market even during economic downturns, while on the other hand, it has a really strong tech sector. Silicon Valley North, which is in the Canada area, is Ottawa's tech sector, which includes 1,750 companies and employs over 68,000 people in Canada alone. So you're starting to feel like this white-collar town has a nice balance from a job security perspective and from a market perspective. Pro number 4 is education and healthcare. Like Toronto, Ottawa has high quality university options, both with the University of Ottawa and Carleton University, both ranking among Canada's top university choices, and then layer on top of that, Algonquin College and La Cité. From a healthcare perspective, Ottawa boasts excellent healthcare facilities, including the Ottawa Hospital, which is one of Ottawa's or one of Canada's largest teaching hospitals, and of course CHEO, which is the Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario. And lastly, the final pro on my list is the tight-knit community feel within Ottawa. Ottawa's neighborhoods like the Glebe and Westboro, for example, offer a strong sense of community and local engagement, and people often identify themselves with the area in which they live in. And with all the events that are happening throughout the year, like Winterlude or the Tulip Festival or Blues Fest, you know which part of town these are being hosted at, and it brings everything together. All right, so let's get into the con side of Ottawa. It's not all sunshine and lollipops, like I like to say. So the number one from a con's perspective is that it is less vibrant. It has less nightlife than in Toronto specifically. Ottawa is quieter compared to Toronto, with fewer nightlife venues and entertainment options. Many restaurants and bars close earlier, especially during the weekdays. 2, public transportation. Ottawa's public transit system is expanding, but still lags behind Toronto's in terms of its reach and frequency. And of course, there are all the LRT issues that have plagued this system from the get-go. So visitors or people that live in Ottawa understand what I'm talking about. There are issues as they expand the LRT line. Con number 3 in Ottawa is, in fact, the cold, harsh winters. Ottawa is the 6th coldest capital in the world, with temperatures often dropping below -20 or lower. The city receives an average of 223 centimeters of snow annually, requiring regular snow removal and winter gear, causing delays for work or leisure, and so on. Con number 4, job market limitations. Ottawa has fewer large corporate headquarters compared to Toronto, limiting certain job opportunities. While strong in government and tech, other industries may have fewer opportunities. Con number 5, cost of living. The average home price in Ottawa is around $680,000, which is lower than Toronto, but high enough still. Toronto is the 2nd most expensive city, whereas Ottawa is the 3rd most expensive city in all of Canada. So yes, there's a savings, but you're still at the very top from a cost of living perspective. So you want any more information on the cost of living, I have a video which I'll tag below on the cost of living. It is a really fantastic video. It'll walk you through everything from rent to housing, to food costs, transportation costs, and so on. I'll link that below to give you a better perspective here in Ottawa. All right, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the top 5 reasons why Ottawa might just be your perfect new home. From the lower cost of living, lower crime rates, and higher quality of life, the abundant green spaces, and the thriving job market, Ottawa offers a balanced and enriching lifestyle that's hard to beat. Whether you're moving from within Canada or from overseas, Ottawa has something for everyone. Reach out to me, go to marcbelangerrealty.com, schedule a time with me, let's go tour some neighborhoods, and let's really dive into what makes some of these neighborhoods really, really fantastic. If you think I've earned it, please consider giving me a thumbs up. I really enjoy making these videos. I look forward to presenting my next video, and until then, take care.